Time again for Talking Dogs with Ian Grant, owner of Vermont Dog Boarding and Behavior, VFW Drive Hyde Park. It's the show that delves into the training, socializing behavior, nutrition, and wellness of your dog. And brought to you by Guy's Farm and Yard, with locations in Morrisville, Montpelier, Williston, and St. Albans. And we're back with the trainer, Ian Grant. And this week, it's more definition of terms from the Talking Dogs glossary. This week, it's situational aggression. All right, so it's a certain time when you can be aggressive, or is that what it is? Or
yeah, so I was with a client last week, and they brought up this term that was given to them. And of course, when I hear something new, Roland, and it comes to dogs, I dig in.
You
right?
get right into it. You just uncover everything here, don't you?
And I sit there and I go, what is that? And how does that term even come about? First, let's kind of define aggression here, because I think that this is also a big myth out there. People think that if a dog's barking or growling or the hackles are up, that the dog is aggressive, which is
it's a quote-unquote nasty dog or something like that.
It's not the case. That's communication. When one dog is putting their mouth on another dog and we're drawing blood and that kind of thing, that's aggression.
Right.
Biting or nipping, something like that. So now when we look at situational aggression, this actually didn't make a lot of sense to me. And
at first blush, it doesn't look like. You mean there are situations where aggression is good? Is that what it is?
No, the way that it was explained to me was that there are certain situations that this dog became aggressive. And as I thought about it more and more, why would a dog be aggressive 24/7? It's just not possible.
I wouldn't think so.
It takes too much energy, so it's not sustainable. So how can we have situational aggression? Well, to me, then if we're looking at things as if there's certain situations that this aggression comes out, then now there's a pattern to it. Okay, now we have to break down the pattern and understand what's going through the dog's head to make the dog react at this severity that we have to label it as such. And I think we talked about it a few months ago about how dog behavior isn't sustainable. A dog that's even jumping and happy to meet us, they can't sustain that over an hour or 2 hours. It's just
they have no energy left.
Right, they're exhausted. So this is really what I want this to kind of boil down to, is that there may be situations that your dog might be aggressive in, but it's our job to look at those situations and kind of pinpoint what is it here that's going on. A lot of aggression is fear-based. A dog is just so scared of something that they're just going to do something about it rather than, tuck their tail and run, so to speak. So this can be one of those tough situations, but situational, yes, but again, they can't sustain it for all day, every day.
Yeah. Now, we had a dog a while back, and his name was Clatter, and this is what he would do. He was nervous. I think it was when we got him. I mean, he was wandering the streets of Montgomery, where they picked him up, or I think NCAL picked him up. And he did have this nervous thing, and he would growl, especially when my son was around. When my son was small, he was kind of the guard dog, And he would growl, but he wasn't a vicious dog, but that's what he would do, especially when there was somebody around my son. So that's kind of situational aggression, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's definitely situational. And the goal is to help dogs through those situations. And a lot of times animals are instinctual. They're just doing what is what they feel is best at that moment. And so when you look at situations like that dog's just trying to figure out how to get through this. And if I have to protect, then I have to protect. That's my duty. Some dogs feel that way. And then in other situations, we have to direct the dog what we want out of them in those situations. So instead of them feeling like they have to fend for themselves, that's where when we step in and we give them direction and we teach them what we want, that has a very strong tendency to just take the stress away from them, because they know, okay, human has this totally under control. I don't need to stress out. I don't need to growl. I'm starting to feel more comfortable. But when these situations, like situational aggression, the dog in this case has just been left to do whatever he needs to do over and over again, and it just turns into something so bad that it turns out to be aggression.
Now, is it something that you can work with the dog to
Absolutely.
To get them on that. And of course, as we always say, the sooner that you act on it, the better, right? I would think if you wait longer, then it's going to be a longer process.
Yeah, much longer. So we had the question last week about the person with the crouching dog and the growling, and if you wait for that situation, you're too late. So in these types of situations, let's say this dog nips at people's ankles when people come through the door. Okay, let's slow this process down. Let's teach the dog what we want out of this, because aggression is not working for anybody.
Right.
And really, it's not working for the dog. A dog doesn't want to just do that. They're feeling like they have to do something to survive. So let's teach the dog what we want instead of just letting them react to it.
Right, exactly. And of course, you want your guests to come back.
Yeah, and you want everybody to feel safe.
Feel safe, right. So instead of sending the dog someplace, you want it to acclimate with your guests, if it's possible.
Yeah.
Back with our question from the doggy bag in just a moment here on Talking Dogs.
Roaming is a Los Angeles-based premium lifestyle brand that is motivated by nature. Roaming features high-quality, earth-friendly dog products made from renewable and natural materials like their bio-based and 100% compostable biodegradable dog poop bags. These bags really are awesome. I've been using their bags for a few months now, and I love the durability, the way they feel, and the fact that they are good for the earth. They also have a special discount for our listeners. Use code VermontDog to get 20% off your first purchase, including 20% off the first 3 orders if you sign up for one of their poop bag subscriptions. They also have some beautiful leather leashes made right here in the USA. You can check them out at roaming.com. That's ROMNG.com. Are you looking for gear that can keep up with your active and adventurous dog? Look no further than Synology Warehouse. They specialize in equipping the modern canine with distinguished, overbuilt gear that's built to last from home to horizon. From premium collars and leashes to rugged outdoor gear, they have everything you need to keep your dog comfortable and safe no matter where your adventures take you. I've been using their Biothane slip leashes for months now, and I love them. They have a nice feel, a good grip, and they clean very easily. Use coupon code Vermont to receive 10% off your purchase. Head over to Synology Warehouse on Etsy today and give your dog the gear they deserve. Synology Warehouse, overbuilt gear that's built to last from home to horizon.
Back to Talking Dogs with Ian Grant from Vermont Dog Boarding and Behavior, VFW Drive, Hyde Park. Want to go back to listen to some of our past programs or the podcasts that Ian does in other situations. You can go to his website, VermontDogBoardingandBehavior.com, and find podcasts, and away you go. And there's a bunch of them there.
There is.
Our question this morning, Ian, is I've heard it's better for dogs to meet off-leash than on-leash. Is that true? I would think that being on leash might be a little bit safer. You have more control, I would think.
Yeah, this is one of those things.
Are you on the wrong side again? No.
I have to answer it with a couple of words. I'm going to steal it from a trainer friend of mine. It depends.
It depends. Okay. So there's no right or wrong answer to this.
I mean, if you have, if I have a happy-go-lucky dog and you have a happy-go-lucky dog, we don't need leashes.
Right.
If I have a very, very reactive dog and you have a happy-go-lucky dog, if I have to hold on to the leash and I'm creating a lot of tension on that leash while the meeting is going down, sometimes us adding tension on the leash can create reactivity with our dog. So if you have 2 dogs that are on leash and they're both straining to get to each other because of all this leash tension that their owners have on the leash.
And assuming that they're not growling at each other or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, it can create a lot of intensity. My days of going to a dog park before I became a trainer and a dog person, every time I'd walk into the park, there'd be 6 or 7 people. Just take the leash off first. Let everybody meet off leash. I didn't know what the heck I was doing.
Yeah.
But that seems to be the savior,
the common way to start it off.
Oh yeah, it's just take them off leash. And I didn't know anything at that time. It was just experiencing a dog park for the first time. But in some situations, it works. In some situations, it doesn't. If you have a reactive dog, and we shouldn't be meeting on leash. We should be meeting at a distance to start with.
Yeah.
And going from there.
So you really have to kind of assess it and have a little bit of dog owner sense on how to react to it.
That should be step 1 of anything is assess yourself, assess your dog, assess any other dogs in the area, in the environment. Is this something I really need to do right now?
Yeah. Though on the safe side, for at least with my wife and I, if we go to a park and we see a dog the first time, we usually have Tika on leash just to judge it, and if they think we're
Yeah.
okay, then you take them off. So,
And if in a situation like that, if she's used to that and you guys have been doing that for years, then that's the pattern.
yep.
Yeah.
All right. If you have a question for Ian, you can email him directly to info@VermontDogBoardingAndBehavior.com. Next week, the front door and guests, part 1. Well, we're just kind of alluding to that, how you don't want your dog nipping at their ankles. So this deserves 2 parts then, right?
Yeah, because I want this, the more I looked at this, I figured it'd be good to get this from our perspective, our meaning from us on the inside, but then also the guests on the outside, maybe what we can do for them. So next couple of weeks, we're going to cover kind of the inside and the outside of the front door.
All right. On Talking Dogs with Ian Grant, brought to you by Guy's Farm and Yard, with locations in Morrisville, Montpelier, Williston, and St. Albans. And for the trainer Ian Grant, I'm Roland LaJoy, and we are Talking Dogs.